Why is Chicken Genius Singapore buying Tesla stock, especially with US investor sentiment being at almost the lowest point in the last 5 years? And more importantly, why do all-in Tesla stock investors don't like Chicken Genius anymore? For the record, I am an all-in Tesla stock investor in my stock portfolio, but I actually really like Chicken Genius. Here's just one reason why. I'll play a clip from this video.
You 10 million, just take it. But you can't wake up tomorrow. Are you still taking the 10 million? No! So does that mean that if you wake up tomorrow, your life is worth more than $10 million? Then why are you not waking up and feeling like it's 10 million? That's how much you value your life.
Well, in my case, my net worth is over 10 million. So actually, I do feel like it's worth at least way over 10 million. I don't think Chicken Genius Singapore is buying Tesla stock just because of some good news for Tesla. Just recently saying right here that Tesla vehicles are actually more reliable than any other EVs in China. And I personally believe that the biggest competition for Tesla will come from China and nowhere else in the world. But when it comes to reliability, it looks like Tesla has no competition over there, at least not right now. This video right here, I believe, will answer our question: why is Chicken Genius Singapore buying Tesla stock, and why are people really disliking him right now?
Buy and hold is still the winner. Wrapping up, it's been 2 years since I done that video, and since that video, I constantly need to drop reminders because we are humans and emotions make us do stupid things. Investors like to think that they have an edge, but at the end of the day, an edge doesn't mean shit. Short term, you think you might be a genius, but the truth is, you couldn't look more like a clown. In my 10 years, over 10 years of investing, I've tried everything from programming my own scripts, setting up stop losses, macroeconomics, futures, option futures, CFDs, you name it, I've done it. I tried it all. As simple as it sounds, buy and hold is still king, and I've proven this to you transparently with my results, my portfolio, my trades. I'm not here to make money off you. I'm nothing to sell you, not even intercourse. I just want to make this world a better place.
His past self called his current self a clown. Short term, maybe you would look a genius, but long term, you're just making yourself look like a clown. So why is there this U-turn? I think this makes sense, and this does not make me dislike Chicken Genius Singapore even a tiny little bit less, by the way. That's just my personal opinion. I know you may have a different opinion, and I respect that. But here's what I think. First, the intentions, and does he mean good when he makes videos? How he carries himself, I don't see any purposeful ill intentions. I see someone who seems genuine to me, and if he makes a mistake, hey look, I think it's a genuine mistake. I think he really has good intentions, but when you have a bigger audience, when people know about you, you will always have people that really dislike you. And now, to elaborate why specifically Tesla stock investors dislike him now, I think before, basically, Chicken Genius would say, hold the stock. Don't sell anything, always hold. And he had two different portfolios, do not touch portfolio and then the itchy fingers portfolio. And he has now, he sold before both of those completely, even including the do not touch portfolio. In the beginning of the year, his do not touch portfolio looked like this, a little bit over 4 million, and his itchy fingers portfolio looked like this. So together, a little over 5 million. Would assume that is higher now, since he timed Tesla stock pretty well. He sold not exactly at the peak, but pretty close, fairly close to it. He bought Tesla stock around here, these levels. Then he sold some here, and then he even did a short around from this level to down to around this level, which if you make money shorting a stock, hey, look, respect to you. I have no issue with that. But if you lose everything you got, hey, look, you did it. You can't blame anyone. So right now, Chicken Genius Singapore actually indeed looks like a genius, which I have no issues with, by the way. I like him. So the track record obviously is here. However, Chicken Genius, at least his past self, knows that timing the market, spending time trying to time the market is basically, in the end, a waste of effort. So why would he change his strategy completely? And you have to give him credit. So far, he's been right about this change. But this is a big change. Here's what I think. I'll give you my thoughts as we watch together this Hallmark's catalog FSD video. We got quite an intersection here. This is an always stop, so that truck has to wait for us to go first. And this is why I invest in Tesla stock. Look, I believe Tesla will be the first one to solve full self-driving because they are basically the only ones pursuing the vision approach. So for me, I believe Tesla stock will at least minimum 10x before the end of 2030. In fact, my price target, sometimes I like to round it up. I just say $3,000 sometime before the end of 2030. It's actually, because before the split, it used to be 10,000. It's still the same. So $3,333.33. Sometimes I just say 3,000. So that hasn't changed. Now, I do see for Chicken Genius Singapore, I do understand where he is coming from. You see, if you have, let's just assume he has 6 million. I have heard that he has other businesses and other ventures. I haven't heard him mention any specific number. So let's just assume that his net worth is, let's say, 6 million, just to keep it super simple. You can take any number you like and just use that if you think it's a different number. Let's say it's 6 million and you are holding Tesla stock only. If you look at any single stock over a long enough period of time, you will find times where a single stock can drop 50% easily. And in fact, in many cases, it can be a much larger drop than just 50%. I mean, you can find stocks that drop 60, 70, 80, 90%. So if you have 6 million and the stock drops 50%, your 6 million goes down to 3 million. If it drops another 50%, which would be a total loss of 75%, now you only got 1.5 million. That's not that much money. And what happens if it drops even further? You look at the 1930s, S&P 500, the supposedly safe index basically dropped about 80%. And if you take individual stocks, a lot of them dropped a lot more than that. Tesla is not immune to macro environment. So I do see, even though we know that long term, it's best to just buy and hold. But if you have already retired, so the keyword here, already retired, not just accumulating for retirement, but if you already retired, which Chicken Genius Singapore, if you go to his YouTube channel description, he does say but he is already retired. So if you have already retired, if you have 6 million, you're good for the rest of your life. You just need to make sure you don't lose that money. And if you don't accumulate a whole bunch more, it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, with 6 million, you can have a wonderful life. If you now have 30 million instead of 6 million, your life is not going to be that much different. I mean, my lifestyle hasn't changed much really, while my net worth has grown tremendously. So I do understand where he is coming from. And I myself, I also had that temptation. When I first got to 10 million, I was like, man, I can retire now, like really for good. Like, I don't need to work like at all ever if I don't want to. If I just play it safe and I do the right things with my money, I don't need to work like ever again. And I personally, I don't really need much for myself. I'm happy with a relatively frugal lifestyle. And I actually tried retiring multiple times before. And the first month is fun. It's great. It's amazing, especially if you were working super hard for a few years nonstop. Oh, that first month is wonderful. Second month is like, okay. Third month, I personally start getting these depressing feelings. Not depressed, but just moments of like, oh my God, this is awful. I would rather be working. I feel like I'm useless. I feel like I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. I'm feeling guilty that I'm not working, that I'm not contributing to the world. And this is where I also relate to Chicken Genius, where he says that he just wants to help people, which I believe him. Because I have that same thought and that same desire, and I see how that would be true in his case. And also, I do relate to him being annoyed at everyone else calling him out, saying, he's trying to, I don't know, do something that other people would find maybe shady. Let's say, oh, you're trying to help people. No, you're just trying to get famous, let's say, as an example. I know how that's annoying, and I know especially that can be incredibly hard on you, if you have good intentions and those intentions get questioned. I know how that can be really hard on him, and I see him as a good person, and I think there's a very sensitive side to him, and I do like him. I have to say that I do really like him. If you are going to make YouTube videos, though, and with such a big following as big as his, no matter how good of a person you are, there will be a lot of people that just flat out hate you for no good reason. Now, in this case, I do see there's a pretty good reason, you would say, because Chicken Genius Singapore, by the way, his name is Ken, can change his strategy completely without maybe not enough explanation to everyone. So there are a lot of angry people that don't like this somewhat quick shift without a lot of, or perhaps enough explanation in many people's eyes. And that's why some people would really dislike him. For me, I respect what he has done. It's his money. I have no problem with anything that he is doing. I mean, he even shares his portfolio openly, which with his size of a following, you're opening yourself up to a lot more people trying to hack you, because when you post something, you can sort of sometimes figure out which company your money is in, and then there's so many things you can do with that if you have very bad intentions. So him opening himself to that, wow, that's really brave. And now he does live in Singapore, and Singapore is pretty safe, but I do know he travels. So anyone who shares their numbers very openly, you're opening yourself to a lot of potential danger as well, especially if you have a family. For Ken, I think because he is so transparent, he gets really annoyed when someone doesn't like something that he's doing because they call out his intentions. And if you watch his videos, he says over and over again, I'm not trying to make money off you guys, etc., etc., etc. I'm not selling any courses. I'm not trying to make money from the videos. And by the way, I would actually want Ken to make more videos. So if that means he turns on his YouTube ads and he makes a course, I'm all for that. I would like to see more content. That's just me personally. So I have no problem with that, even if he did do that. So these are my thoughts on Ken's reversal and why so many people, especially Tesla stock investors, dislike him now. Give him some more slack. I mean, obviously, you just look at his YouTube channel. The YouTube channel name is Chicken Genius Singapore. I mean, who can take that too seriously? And he makes a lot of jokes as well. Give him some slack. I think he's all right. I don't see any problem with any of that. Just take it for what it is. I believe he has good intentions. And these are 48 reasons why I only own Tesla stock. And my name is Matt Posters. Today is pretty much a day off for me, so no tie. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.